You should save all that comic gold for when we're actually live.
I didn't think it was comic gold. I thought it was just me
So
talking.
just me, just being mean to me.
You haven't seen me be mean yet, then.
All right,
Okay, so now we're
so
going.
now we're going. Can we talk about? Let's talk about Twilight Inscription.
Okay, let's.
Coined, like you recently coined it at Space Bingo. Wait, did you say Space Bingo first, or did I? You did, right?
No, you said it's. You said this one board was kind of like bingo. I think you said it.
Mm.
This one board was like bingo. Which board was that? Was
Oh,
that
okay.
the
Yeah,
space
yeah.
one?
The
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 where you're taking
expansion
over?
one.
Yeah. And then I just called the whole thing space bingo because that's kind of what it is to
It
me.
is. It is
Space
like that.
bingo.
So
But
I was
it's.
kind of excited about it when I was learning it, when I was teaching it to myself.
Hmm.
I got really excited because I'm not like there's a couple of like roll and write, flip and writes I like, but I was like, oh, this one actually seems like this has got a lot going on. I might really like this.
Hmm.
And this is why you can't review something straight away. Don't review something after one play because I
Yeah.
already wrote like I wrote in the Discord. I was like, oh, I'm really excited. This is so good. And then after we actually played it, I was like, ah, it's okay.
You said it had an addictive quality, though.
Yeah, it does have an addictive quality. I think it does have an addictive quality, but there's a caveat to that because I used to get my dad to bring home forms from the hospital so that I could fill out forms
Oh
because I
no,
found
it's
that
nostalgia
addictive.
for
So
filling
I
out
think it's just,
forms.
yeah, seriously. I was like, oh, look at these blank forms, and I would like fill them out and just make up stuff. I kind of feel like I'm going back to that, just crossing stuff off.
I think it had some things that it was sort of innovative for Roland rights, but it's still uh, I don't know. I think Roland rights have a lot more. I think designers need to go a little bit further with the Roland right
Yeah,
mechanism. You know, it's just it feels like they didn't go far enough. It didn't feel like Twilight Inscription in like Twilight Imperium,
yeah.
and from what Lyndon said it was going to, and I was very disappointed in that. The combat was it was okay. It wasn't very combat-y. Um, I don't know. For me, it fell flat. It's good for a roll and write, but if I'm going to spend 2 hours, I'm going to play a different game that I'm going to say real game because, you know, I didn't feel like it was. There wasn't enough conflict. There wasn't enough. We didn't interact enough, and I
Tension.
really, yeah, I don't like that kind of a thing. But that's just me. A lot of people nowadays, you know, they like games that don't have a lot of tension.
I mean, the other thing we have to say is that we played it with the bot. It was just two of us in the bot. So
True.
the whole voting thing was completely different. It wasn't we weren't voting on anything to pass and fail. We had to just beat the bot in terms of we get the positive result if we manage to get this many votes, if we spend that many votes. So that whole thing was different.
A
I
little
think
bit,
that would be better with more players.
maybe, but it's still
Not
just
amazing, but
it's still just for yourself. So like I was telling the guys, I was telling Lyndon and Brian, like I am going to vote. I'm gonna the first thing I'm doing is going for votes because that's a negative that you're gonna take eventually. You know, I'm gonna do
possibly.
this, right, right. Unless you hardcore go for votes too, well then we're not gonna combat very much and all this other shit. So that's great. But if I can get an advantage by taking a lot of votes early, it might only work once. It's gonna be huge. But that's the only reason I want to play it again is so I can do that strategy where I just concentrate on votes early and then chill out
No, but
on the votes.
that's the interesting thing about the game though is that like whatever you choose, you're sacrificing elsewhere. So
Yeah,
yes, that's kind of a cool idea. Go hard
yeah.
on
No,
votes,
no
but
other
then there's
games
all
have
this
that.
other stuff you're getting. I didn't
No,
say no other games have that. I'm just saying that that is
I'm
the
just
cool thing
giving.
about the game
I'm
is
just
that you
giving you
want to do
shit.
everything. Obviously, you
I
can't.
just want to give the game a bad review after
Yeah,
playing it once.
it was kind of a bit samey. It was like a really long game that just did kind of the same thing. Like surprisingly, you'd think that there'd be a big build up, but there isn't really. Yes, you get more stuff, but
So
you
bingo's
just
better. because bingo has a buildup.
Bingo
I'm
is
joking.
not better. Bingo doesn't
I'm
have a build
joking.
up.
I'm joking.
Oh, I
Uh,
don't know. I don't
yeah, the
know
moment
about
when I
you.
raise my hands up and go bingo, and then everybody's staring at me, hoping that I read the right ones or like fuck up on one of them,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, he got it wrong.
B4. We didn't call B4. You're an idiot. Continue. And then you feel like you're after you've been told that you've got the wrong one. You hesitate to pull the trigger the next time you call bingo because you're all scared everyone's gonna call you an idiot.
Yeah, that's
No,
the best part about bingo for sure.
no,
People humiliating themselves.
I think if I had to pick between Hadrian's Wall and Inscription, I'd take Hadrian's Wall
Oh,
because
do we have
of
to
the
have this
time
argument?
spent. I'm not going to
Yeah.
spend 2 hours playing a roll and write unless we're drinking heavily. Then it's cool because it because it doesn't
So
matter,
heavy drinking would make Twilight Inscription a better
Well,
game.
as long as I can do
That's
other,
a nice message.
what to drink heavily, to
Yeah,
play
drink
this and drink
heavily.
heavily. I think that's always a good idea, especially with.
This is why I have to drink in a two-step process because you make me laugh.
That was
Okay.
pretty fun. No, no. Okay, so you've played a what is it, Three Sisters or whatever it's called, right? The
Played Three
garden one.
Sisters. I played, and I like Fleet. I like Fleet
Oh,
because
I
I
don't want
like
to
the
hear about Fleet.
unlocks.
No Fleet. Joking.
I actually thought Fleet was better than Three Sisters. Three Sisters is starting to get a little bit too bingo-y as well. I don't know. There's a simplicity I like about Fleet. You you choose the bonuses you want, you go for them. It like it's like tracks. It's like unlocking tech tracks kind of thing in Fleet.
Mm-hmm.
The more licenses you get for a certain like fish, then you get to do that differently. And I think maybe Twilight Inscription kind of was trying that with the technologies, but when we played, did we even unlock any of the techs? I
I
think
did.
I unlocked the one. Oh, I did. I unlocked on the warfare board the one that's like +3 to each war that you're in if you have at least 2 ships deployed in that sector.
I don't remember which tech that
But
I
then you
had.
tied with me anyway, so it was like, oh, I just got this special thing and it did nothing for me.
Unless you were looking at my board like you should have been.
I
Maybe I
wasn't
don't know.
looking.
I
I
know you should
wasn't
have.
looking.
You're supposed
Well,
to.
yeah, but we weren't at the same table,
I
so
know.
that was a bit difficult.
And then I would have gave you shit for looking at my board. I said, "Look at your own screen,
You
woman."
would, you would have, you would have said, I would have said, can you please put the camera on your board for a second? You would have been like, no.
I would have done it because otherwise I would be cheating. I'd have taken a picture for you and then just give you the timestamp and say, "Okay, that's what it looked at that time."
I was too cocky. I was too cocky with the war thing because I didn't think you were going for it. Because you didn't at the start.
I really kind of didn't do the whole game. I just kind of haphazard into it. I bingoed into it.
Yeah. And then I played it again and then I just went crazy on the industry board and just got all the way up those commodity tracks, because it gets you lots of points on that sheet.
Did you double your score or anything? Triple your score?
I
Doing
didn't
that?
I didn't double it, but I got in the 80s and I think when you and I played I got in the 60s or something.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Lyndon and Brian both got in the 70s.
Okay.
And when we played, did you tell me the names of the dice?
No, I kept saying pink, blue, and
Yeah,
green,
yeah.
and
You
you were
have a
like,
strike
"These are all
against you.
black dice."
Yeah, you have a strike against you on the teaching thing because of that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we're sitting there and the guys are talking about the thing and they're talking about the dice in their names. And I'm like, oh shit, they have names? These dice have names. Like, yeah, this is this, this is that. And I go, holy
Research.
shit.
I said the green one's research, didn't I? I said that. I
Maybe.
remembered that one. And
And
then
then
and then I was like, and blue is circle, and then pink is square.
yeah, so the guys are like, I was like, she kept telling me colors and I'm looking at black dice. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't teach theme. I don't teach theme. I don't teach fancy. I don't read out the flavor text. Okay, you can get that elsewhere.
I didn't
don't
need
get
flavor
that.
text.
You
I
don't
just
get
needed
that from
something
me.
other than color.
No, you don't get
Yeah.
that from me.
Oh, okay.
And you can look at the board and see what green and blue does.
I gotta take an
So-
extra step because you called out something.
Yeah. I actually I have been like I've disappointed people before because they're
because of
like
that.
because I teach the mechanics of the game. This is how you play the game, and people are like, "But what are we doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, you care about that? Okay. Here's the
No, I
paragraph
don't
that you
care
should
what we're
read
doing.
in the rule book."
The only reason it mattered is because on your end of the camera, you had the dice and you rolled the dice, and half the time I couldn't see them, and you told me the color. I'm like, what?
The camera was above the dice. If you couldn't
Yeah,
see them,
but
why
you
couldn't you
roll the
say?
dice sometimes, and they were like off from the camera. So I was like, how am I going to score bingo if you don't tell me, B and then the number?
And that's how I won the game.
Yeah, no, you were going to win
Just
the
don't
game
show Mo the
regardless.
dice.
No, you're going to win regardless. I suck at playing games first time. It's just
You can't
it's a
space
given.
bingo.
I can't space bingo. That's the whole
No.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
so we didn't love it. Did
you
we?
seem to like it more than me, though. You seem to like want to
I
revisit
just
it.
found it. I did find it addictive, but
I want to fill out forms, is what you said.
I do. I want to tick things off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was. We could have played anything else for 2 hours, and that's what I kept thinking. Is like this is a waste.
Yeah. I didn't
But
think it
that's
was
me.
a waste.
Well, it wasn't a waste, but I need interaction. I need tension. I don't
That's
need
your
to write
crime.
shit down. So you're not very good at crying, huh?
I can't cry, so I have to
Get
do
to.
that. Yeah.
Well, you
Well,
know what? I
it was
know a
better
way you
than
can earn a tear.
what? How do I earn a tear?
Yeah, you have to kill somebody, and then you can get a tear, a
Oh,
little
right. Yeah, yeah,
tattooed
yeah.
teardrop.
Yeah.
Then you don't
Or I
have to
should
fake
just have the
cry.
lemon. I just had a lemon slice off camera. That would work too, probably.
Mm, depends if lemons are in season. Then you can just kill somebody all
But
season
I
long.
already, I don't want to get mascara. I already have an issue because my eyelashes are so long that I
Hmm.
get like black here and up here. So I came home yesterday and I look like a raccoon or a panda or something because this is totally off topic. But my mascara, like my eyelashes are too long. It's a problem. I need to like trim them or something.
I think they call what do they call that whenever you're bragging on the DL? Like they call it flex, some kind of flexing. I forgot what kind of
Oh,
flexing they
right.
call.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
my
When you're saying
eyelashes are
something
just
good is a
so
bad,
long.
yeah,
Oh
when you're
my
saying
god.
something good is a bad thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I
it's
forgot.
annoying.
It's an Instagram thing where there's something flexing. Anyway, I'm sure
You're
there's a
right.
lot
It
of
is
people
something.
who would love your eyelashes.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, Twilight Inscription was better than Wonderland's War. I will say that.
And why? Because no bingo.
And why? You're like, you've already had to hear about this. Well, okay, so Wonderland's War had a similar problem in that it was also long for what it was. You're literally doing the same thing. Like, there's 3 rounds in that game where you battle in each of these locations, and you could just do 1 round and battle once in each of the locations, and then that would be fine. Like, just leave it there. Why would you do? So it ends up being like a 4-hour game, which is very random. Like, the battles are drawing chips out of a bag and you can go bust. I don't know if you've ever played Quacks, but
Yeah.
it's essentially the mechanics of Quacks, but you have battle chips in your bag which you're pulling out, but there's these madness ones that can make you go bust, right?
Hmm.
So you're just out of the battle, whatever. It's that for like 4 hours. And similar thing to Twilight Inscription, they didn't think about actually some kind of feeling of progression in the game. There's like certain abilities you can unlock on your board, but they're so kind of weak and unexciting that it just doesn't feel like you're really building a character or anything like that, which is a shame because in terms of like the artwork they've done and the focus they've had on Alice in Wonderland, they could have just made it a little bit more unique with the characters. I don't know. They did different things. All the characters did different things, but it just didn't result to anything exciting. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like nothing about that game sounds interesting to me. Not
No.
a
There was a bit
single
of
freaking thing.
the only thing that progressed was like there's card drafting at the start, which it's very reminiscent of El Grande because you have like dudes you can put on the map, but the cards are what tells you how many people you can put out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, but not all of the cards have it. Some cards have some other ability instead. So it's, you're balancing that. But like, so the El Grande part of the game was the best part of the game, basically.
So let's play El Grande instead.
Let's play El Grande instead. Way
I don't
better,
know,
way
like,
better game.
yeah, like none of that is enticing. Like, Alice in Wonderland, hell no. Like, did you ever? There was a band that was called Alice in Hell. Did you ever get to hear that band?
No.
Okay, so they were first called Alice in Hell, and the cover was, or was that the album? The album, I think it's a band called Alice in Hell. Yeah, Alice in Hell, and then they had to change the way they spelt their name, I guess, because somebody owned the Alice, because Alice in Wonderland kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
And they sucked. They totally sucked. It was like power thrash metal, something or another. I mean, they had some interesting riffs and all that, but
yeah. Isn't that also the name of the sequel to that Alice game, or not?
I don't know.
You know that Alice game? Oh, I don't. I didn't play it. I played it a little bit, but it looked really cool. Anyway, I think that sequel was the same name or something. I don't know. I like the whole Alice in Wonderland thing, and I like that kind of dark vibe that the game gives.
Yeah, but like,
Alice in Wonderland dark vibe is kind of cool, but
whenever they do the art, what they do is they take it first childlike and then dark. It's like, it's not ever like, let's just go straight to the book and let's just like redo this where it doesn't harken back to the Disney stuff. Or was it Disney that did Alice in Wonderland? Whoever did Disney, whoever did Alice in Wonderland, they try to remind you of the characters and not go a completely different direction to actually make it something dark. Like you can't make furry teddy bears evil. You can just never do it. You just can't do it. You can fake it. You can try to act like you do it, but you don't do it. It's just not.
See, for some people, that stuff is more scary. Like for me, it is kind of scary. Like I think scary clowns are really scary because you don't expect clowns to be scary. That's the same with teddy bears.
In 2022, you don't expect clowns to be scary. I don't know what you're talking about. It's the opposite of that. I didn't know clowns could be funny.
You have a good point. But you know what I mean? Like things that you expect to be not. It's like when you see a little girl and she's like crazy. That's like scary. Because they're meant to be they're meant to be like.
Are you talking like The Ring, Maddie black hair scary?
Yeah, that stuff. All that stuff.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sold.
I don't know. But the Alice game was like, it was dark. She woke up. She was like mad, right? She woke up in an asylum. She'd like dreamed everything, but she hadn't really dreamed at all. But she was. They thought that she had.
Okay.
Anyway, but you don't like story in video games, so I don't know.
I don't like story. Period. Yeah. Don't tell me stories.
Okay, so that was Wonderland's War. Never again.
I'm not gonna start.
Never again. I had a note that you wanted to talk about. Coins.
Oh yeah, the coin thing. Not coin style of game, but like metal coins and the idea of metal coins. So did you hear that thing the other day? Okay, so this is off the subject. Did you hear the thing the other day where they were talking about the difference between sci-fi and fantasy?
No.
Metal coins versus credits, or coins versus credits. That's like the difference. One of the differences between sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It was like a meme thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought coins were going to be a thing. So like, at the time I was playing a lot of lighter Euros, and they all had coins. They had cardboard coins, and so I invested in a shit ton of metal coins, and I got cool ones that were like they were dwarven dungeon ones, and they were like triangles and squares and like not your traditional circle ones. They're like
they love the geometric shapes, those dwarves.
Yeah, those dwarves are into geometric shapes because it makes them feel taller for some reason. I don't know why, but it do.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I tried to catch you right at the right time when you were drinking the
Yeah,
water.
that's why I'm doing
I
it
guess there's
carefully.
too
I
much of
know
a
I will
delay.
choke.
There's too much of a delay. I almost caught you. That would have been great. Anyway, so yeah, I, like many other people, bought coins, you know. And this is right around the time that I started to play 18xx, and then I realized, like, shortly after I fucked up, I should have just bought fucking chips.
Like people were
Like,
investing in crypto, and you were like, no,
metal
the real
coins is where
money
that.
is in board game metal coins.
Hey, right now, had I invested in gold, the money that I put in crypto, had I put it in gold, I'd be much happier.
Mm,
Much
that's
happier.
true.
After, what was it, like 3 4 months ago when crypto crashed?
That's like when we
Man.
first started talking. We remember we
Yeah,
were talking about you having like stashing gold.
I should have done it instead of buying Dogecoin. That was a fucking mistake. Goddamn
Yeah.
Elon. That was a total mistake. It wasn't a, it was not a whole lot of money, but it's still fucking shitty.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had all
Anyway.
these metal coins, and so I've got this thing that I can carry around, and it weighs it's like a treasure chest. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a plastic thing, like a pencil box full of coins, and I could carry it to go play. But the problem with it is the same thing that's problem with the regular coins. It's just huge, and it weighs a fudge ton, and now I would be better off with paper money, and nobody likes to use paper money during games.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, did I ever
Yeah.
tell you the time that I pulled out? Like, I'm such a nerd or a geek or whatever in the hell we call them tools. I'm such a tool that I reached into my pocket and pulled out change, and mixed in my change was board
Oh
game money
no.
as well.
Oh no. Really?
Yeah,
How did that
that's
happen?
we were playing Kalis,
Yeah.
and a couple of coins of the, like, the pennies came out on, they fell on the floor, whatever. We didn't find them. Didn't
Yeah.
realize they had fallen. Put the game up. Day later, oh, there's these coins on the ground. I knew they were Kalis. I was walking out the door, didn't have time to go and get the box and put them in there, so I put them in my pocket. There was nothing else in the pocket at that time.
Right.
So later on in the day, I forgot I had Kalis money in my pocket. I got some change, put it in the Kalis money pocket. And then
And
when I
did
went
you
to,
you just buy something and then pull it all
yeah,
out and then
I pulled out
oh
change, and I
no.
was counting out change. And when I was going through the change, I was like, oh my God,
I'd
I'm a
be
dork.
I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be
I
so
was pretty
embarrassed.
embarrassed.
I drop a lot of stuff on the floor. So I have like a little bowl thing near my board games and I
Hmm.
put all the because I'm too lazy to go, oh, I have this one token, I'm going to get the board game and put it back and so I just have it there and then it's like, well, the next time we play it, then we can put the token back in there. It's a
Yeah, that
good
makes sense.
indicator. It's a really good indicator of how often I play my games because it just sits there. The bowl's full of stuff. It's gathering more stuff, and it's not.
It's got
It's
like a
not
layer
going
of
away.
dust on the top.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
Um,
so, like, it's carrying coins in your pocket and stuff. It's like worse though, I think, to carry dice. Like, if you pull out your hand, you have change, and you have dice in there. It's like
oh,
you're
that's
always like
yeah,
ready to roll for initiative. Like, you're gonna get in a
yeah.
fight, you roll out your dice. Who's gonna go first? Okay, so back to the coins. Okay, so the coins were okay. So there used to be something that was called Battle Bin, and it
Hmm.
was a subscription system. You spend $35 a month, and they send you a box that has expansions to games and, like, game products. And the way that would work is that the game companies would send battle bins, stuff to promote their games. So the way they do it, like, I'll give battle bins an expansion for, like, Ratchet War, right? So then I get my battle bin in, and I get these little miniatures for Ratchet War, but I don't have Ratchet War, so it's an incentive for me to buy Ratchet War now because I've got the expansion.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So do you remember Arcadia Quest?
Hmm.
Okay, so they sent one that had the little box called the Nameless Quest,
Hmm.
and I didn't think of it, I put it up. Uh, they basically sponsored the board game group, and part of their payment was they paid a little bit less, and they sent
Hmm.
me battle bins, and I didn't want them, but it's like, fuck it, I'd get them, and then that ended up being one of them, that Nameless Quest, and some coins. Like they sent just a random assortment of coins. So I talked to the guy, got a hold of the distributor, bought a bunch of coins really cheap, and then I had this nameless quest. Battle bins went out of business, so I tried to look at all this stuff, any of it worth anything, trying to sell it, and nameless quest went for like $250 for some
Oh wow.
little bitty $35 expansion. It's just very hard to find, I guess. I guess they didn't make
Jeez.
very many of them.
That's
Yeah,
surprising to me because when you said about the subscription board game thing, it just made me think of like, oh, they're gonna just put in like they've got some stock they couldn't get rid of, they couldn't sell it. They're just gonna give people that, like it's gonna be
yeah.
kind of the
I
worst of
think
the
there
worst.
was okay. So it was at a different time period. So like
Mm.
at that time, board game stock was going up. Like there was like the Kickstarters were at its infancy.
Mm.
There was like places were actually having a hard time keeping stuff in stock. So unlike now, where you have all these board games being made, where the market's like completely flush with stuff,
Yeah.
now it cost money to store those board games. At that time, they didn't have storage. There was no need to store anything. So
Mm-hmm.
the stuff were getting were premium. I'm sure if it was done now, we would have a bunch of backstock of shit that it's cheaper
Yeah.
to give away than it is to keep. And in
Yeah.
fact, let's say if you're starting a review thing or whatever, as long as you're not looking for the newest games, all those old games,
Yeah.
they would rather give them to you and promote and try to get rid of the ones they have in storage in the warehouses because they're costing them money, a
Right.
fuck ton of money
Yeah.
being in storage and shit. That's
Yeah,
a
for sure.
huge deal. Or maybe it's
Yeah.
not so huge anymore, but
Yeah. At Comic Con, there were like so many people were buying these board game mystery boxes that had
oh
however
no.
many games in them, and I'm like, oh, it might be $80 for like 6 games, but what are these games going to be?
That was the
And
thing that I. Go ahead.
no, I just said, and one of them was a Peppa Pig shoots and ladders. So
Oh, dude. That's a collector's item.
someone said to me, do you want that? Like they were trying to get rid of it, and uh and Stuart, one of the volunteers, he said, oh, Sarah, you've got a young daughter, and this guy was like going like this with it, like, do you want it? And I was like, no, 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 I don't want that in my house. I'll be forced to play it like 8 times a day. There is no
Did,
way I'll like get that away from me.
okay, side note, did you ever play I think it's called The Three Little Pigs. It's a the game is done in it looks like a book. It's one of those and you open it up and it's for kids and it's actually the Three Little Pigs one isn't bad. I've actually played that one and that one's okay for what it is.
Okay.
It
I
comes with a
haven't
little
played it.
spinner instead of a die, and you spin it, and then I don't know, remember what you do, but I remember that the game was halfway okay, halfway okay. I would play that several times.
And it was like a book. It was like a
Yeah,
book
it looked like a
game.
book. Yeah, it was one of those. I'll send
How
you.
old were you when you played this? This was 2 years
5.
ago.
No,
Okay.
it was 3 or 4 years ago. Probably. When I was 5, 3 or 4 years ago. I was trying to tell Lyndon that when you sell games or when you
Yeah.
give games away, and if
Yeah.
you put the price too low, people are suspicious. They're like, "No, I don't
Right.
think I want that anymore." Like you can't do
Yeah,
that,
that must be
otherwise no one's
crap.
going to want it.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember? There's a show where this dude named Jax rides around on a motorcycle, and Sons of Anarchy. Okay,
Right.
so Sons of Anarchy. Uh, BGG gave out fuck tons of Sons of Anarchy as one of the games, right? It's not supposed to be a halfway bad game. It's not great, but it's not supposed to be bad. I've never played it. It's supposed to be okay. Worker placement. Anyway, so all of a sudden, like the first week, you saw like 3 or 4 go in the marketplace for almost market value. Next
Right.
week, it was flooded with $10, $5 Sons of Anarchy. Now the whole Sons of Anarchy market is fucked.
Yeah.
Totally
It's the
fucked.
supply and
I-
demand thing. Like
Yeah.
everyone has one.
I've
Come on, and
got
give them
2.
away.
I've got 2 in
You've
shrink.
got 2 copies of it.
Well, yeah, because like I think
You're
we went
waiting
in.
for the price to go back up.
No, we went in my vehicle, and it got left in my
Oh.
vehicle, so it's just with the pile of stuff.
People left it with you.
Yeah, and I've got like Takanoko or whatever the fuck it's called, and shrink, all that shit that they give away. I just got piles of it because we go whoever's car we go in, we're leaving it with them. They just
Yeah.
have like five. Although they give away like a war game magazine, like I think it's called Strategy and Tactics uh, Strategy and Tactics magazine. Those are worth keeping because they actually have
Hmm.
some really interesting war games in there. But that's the snob in me, I guess.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so you didn't get any use out of the coins then, really at all?
Oh, we tried. It's okay, but man, chips are so much easier.
Right. I was
Chips are
gonna
just
say I'm not an accessory board game accessory person, but I do have those iron clays that I got when I
mm.
backed brass, and I'm pretty happy with those. I just use those usually.
Yeah. See, I don't like those. Whoa. Okay, I don't like those as chips because they're not the right colors. Like I
Right.
need like I like the
You're used
standard
to the
standard
the
colors,
colors.
standard yeah, and everybody uses them. That's another reason. I got to be a little
Oh,
bit different.
really?
I don't want to be the same. Like Lyndon uses them, you use them. Like I don't know. Everybody in the board game world uses them who's not a hardcore 18xxer. So it's just one of
Yeah,
those
that makes
things.
sense. Like going into something later, if everyone's doing it, and you want something that's different or that stands out. That makes sense. But I guess like because I backed brass, the new brass on Kickstarter, and I got it
Hmm.
then. So I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
using it then. So I'm like, no, I like them. They feel good. They look good. I
I
like the
like the
different
weight.
colors.
I like the weight. I don't like the colors, and I don't like the. They're not clear enough from far across the table. They're not like
Mm,
casino style, but I mean they're cool. They're definitely cool. They're definitely better than using metal coins. I'll say some metal
yeah.
coins. I've got uh, I've got both of those brasses and the clays and all that still in the box that they came in, like the
Wow.
the Kickstarter box that has the name of the
Right.
stuff on the box.
Yeah, and they made it like it was gonna be so exclusive. Like when I got it, it had like a number on it, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is
Got
number
yeah,
2000 and whatever.
yeah.
And now they're just making the iron clays. Like you can just buy them. Everyone has them, like you said. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
that's
hang
like
on, this is special, right? It's special, right? No, it's not special.
not
It's not
special
anymore.
anymore.
I
Yeah.
could just imagine you going with your friend who has the board game bag of sandwiches, and you have the board game bag just full of coins.
Oh, sad.
No board games in the board game bag, just coins.
The cool thing, like, yeah, if I would have made those coins, I would have come up with the rolling. Like, I don't know if you do this in Australia, but like here, you roll the coins into like these paper things that tell you the denomination, and you take those papers to the coin
Yeah,
rolls to the bank.
yeah,
It would have been cool to get those in coin, and like if a dwarf had rolled his coins, and you're basically you're getting changing his coins for paper money and shit. That would have been cool in the marketing side, but I don't know.
you could go try it with a real bank, see if you get some money back.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, I'm not an accessory person. I don't know
I
about you.
usually am not, but come on, coins, and dice are the one my exception. I like cool dice. I don't necessarily need them for any specific game because I don't like games that usually use dice, unless they're just counters. And
Mm.
then I like coins. I guess I've had a thing for coins. Like when we went, okay, so like we're in Texas and Mexico is right there. And when we went across to Mexico and we get to play with their money, and you get so much of it for your money at the time that you just have all these fucking coins. It was cool. And they're just like, they have their national bird is a eagle. And I think it's a brown eagle. I forgot what kind of eagle it's called, but it's basically not like ours, which is a bald eagle. Theirs is like a brown headed eagle and it's on all their coins, and it's always doing something gnarly to like a snake and shit. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, cool.
It's eating a snake and shit. It's really cool.
Yeah, that is
Anyway,
cool on a coin. But yeah, no, I'm kind of a minimalist. I don't really want to have a bunch of metal coins. I know my friend was asking me, like Def was asking me what he should get, what game he should get for his birthday, and he couldn't come up with anything that he wanted.
hmm
So he
hmm
just got a bunch of metal coins for all these different games. And I'm like, but what about just one set that you can play with everything?
yeah, that was my idea. One set for everything.
Right.
But he was talking about specific coins,
He
like
got the actual barrage metal coins and
mm,
for barrage, and he got like, yeah, the ones for Pax Premier or whatever, or whatever. I must
Yeah, I would.
admit, the Pax Familia ones are pretty cool, and the Barrage ones are like Art Deco. But anyway,
Cool, but like when you get them
unnecessary.
specifically for a game, now then I would feel that was wasteful because I don't
Right,
play enough of the same game. It's something
right.
I'm
And then
hoping
if
to
you're
resolve.
playing it with you play it with something else, and people are like, "Aren't these the Barrage coins? Why are we playing that with something else?"
And they
It's just weird, unnecessary.
they all treat you like you're scum of the earth for doing it. Like, oh, obviously they don't have any money. Let's leave this place.
Yeah. So we have board game snobbery. This is not the right
Totally.
coins for this game.
Yeah. I guess it's the best that you can do.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
That is.
so not an accessory person. I don't even care if it's like I must admit, like inserts I guess are kinda cool sometimes.
Oh, come on
But I'm
now.
not gonna buy them.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
gonna buy them. I'm yeah, I just stick everything in the box. I'm fine with that. But when you get a game that comes with them, it's like, oh, this is actually, and this is kind of all right.
Yeah, see, like I've got a lot of them, a lot of freaking inserts because
Do you?
we used to do business with Broken Token, and then I met Han and he gave me a few, and then for Christmas these guys uh, got into it. So whenever they gave me a gift, like a game, they would put the insert. I guess to bring them up to whatever price point they needed to be at for the gift, they throw in an insert. So I've got these piles of inserts that I'll never do anything with. I guess when
Do
the
you have to
apoc,
make them? Do you have to put them
yeah,
together as well?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no, no,
I ain't
no.
putting that shit together.
No.
Yeah, if I was gonna put stuff together, I'm gonna put like mechs. I'll put mechs together. I'm not
Oh,
putting
yeah,
inserts together.
let's talk about that.
Oh, hold on one second.
I've got something to say.
Okay,
You
so
have
before you say
never,
it,
okay,
before you say it, if the apocalypse happens, I've got wood to burn.
okay, that's
Inserts.
good. That's
Yeah,
good to know because that's what
that's
we'll
what I've
need
got.
in Texas when it's so cold. We'll need
Yeah.
to burn some wood for fire.
Well, you've got to burn zombies somehow,
Yeah,
and
that's
that'll
true.
work.
Okay.
All right. So
Well,
what
I'll
were you gonna
swim
say?
over there when the zombie apocalypse happens.
You could use inserts. They float. You build yourself an insert raft,
Oh no.
but don't bring your iron clays; they'll sink you.
That was so bad that I've forgotten what I was going to say. I've totally forgotten what I was going to say because that was so bad. It was
You were gonna
about
say something about mechs and
oh, the
badonkadonks.
mechs. Yeah, yeah. I've got something to say to you because you have never, not once, sent me the kitty love heart eyes emoji. He's never sent me that, everyone. Ever. Ever. And then
And
he
then in the
saw a
blog,
mech.
oh
He
yes,
saw a mech on
it was
Twitter. And
sexy. It was so sexy.
the mech gets kitty love heart eye
Sexy
emoji.
eyes. Yes, yes.
I'm so upset. I don't even know what to say.
I know you wrote it down. You're like that son of a bitch.
If only I was a fembot.
I don't know. Like, would you be like a tank head or?
Tank it. What part of my body is bot? What is a tank head? I don't even know what that means.
That would be
I'm
a mech
talking
with
mech
a
talk.
that has a head that's a tank. It's got like the turret at the top, a big old howitzer on it.
If you want me to.
You sure would be sexy.
Oh boy.
But usually, the problem with the tank head is that you usually have to have, instead of legs, you usually have to do um, something else. You could do like, well, let's not get into tank talk. Let's
Okay. All right. Yeah. We always end up
talking about
talking.
sexy robots.
Yeah, talking sexy stuff. Sexy robot. Yeah, last time it was sexy robot. What else did we talk about? Oh, we wanted to talk about reviews, like written reviews. What
Okay,
is the
so
lifespan on those?
do we start? Okay, we're at 40 minutes. Do we start that on the next one and bitch about reviews for an hour?
We should, because we could end up talking for a long time if we
Okay.
go on this topic.
Cool. Well, so like, I think I think the lesson today is be more robot-y, and then you'll get
The kitty heart
kitty
eyes.
eyes. Yeah, kitty heart eyes.
Be more
You
like a
got
robot.
yeah. When you
Okay.
move your arms,
And you can buy
get
less
stiffer.
coins.
Get stiffer. Like just like move more stiff.
Get stiffer.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
This was a
All right, I
children's
think we should end on
podcast.
that
Good
note.
lord. This
We
is for
should end
children.
there.
I will not get stiffer. Okay. Let's see how I can figure out how to turn this thing off.
Okay.